reads other things as well. It's another thing to hear people talking about their real problems. I tried to share with you some of our real problems for your audience, but I think he has to listen, and then I think whatever they start, they can continue. It's not all going to be resolved here and now in this visit. But there's a lot of work we can do, and there's a lot of work Israel is willing to do. Israel wants peace, probably more than any other actor in the Middle East.
Okay, we do believe this is the helicopter that does have the President of the United States in it. It's the third of the white tops that have arrived. Dorigo, you were talking a little bit about, a moment ago, about what the Palestinians could do for Israel. What's Israel willing to do to get closer to a peaceable solution in the Middle East?
Well, you know, on the Israeli side, our requirements are essentially security requirements. I mean, we get people killed by terrorism. We get people knifed in the name of Allah. That's a very immediate and urgent problem. The Palestinians have a variety of needs. First of all, I think honor and respect is very important. And we've shown an ability to do that, and we will do that if the Palestinians will come to first base with us. I think we are willing, the Prime Minister has said, he's willing to accept a Palestinian state that's demilitarized, that recognizes the rights of the Jewish people to their own nation state. We're willing to go there. However, it has to be a state that doesn't threaten us. We need secure and recognized boundaries, right, defensible borders. And we can't just go back to the 67 lines from 50 years ago.
Absolutely not. And Dory Gold, I got to bring you to the other major issue, which arguably is more important, is the Iranian deal. You guys were against this deal to begin with. There's some people inside Israel said in the long term, this could be good for you guys, could be good for your long-term security. Now that we're a few months into the deal, maybe even a year into the deal, how is it going?
Well, I think anybody who said in the long term it's good for Israeli security must have been smoking something. This deal is a disaster. I dealt with Saddam Hussein's Iraq when I was ambassador to the UN. At that time, the UN, for example, demanded that all weapons of mass destruction be halted in Iraq. That included ballistic missiles. The Iran deal didn't stop the Iranians from developing ballistic missiles. They can have a ballistic missile force, even with intercontinental range, within 8 or 10 years. And then they'll have the enriched uranium to create the nuclear warheads that'll threaten not just Israel, but the whole world, in fact, the United States.
That's a great point. As we wait for President Trump to get off Marine One here, I mean, that could be the reason why we saw a different reaction from even the Saudis when he landed there 2 days ago, because President Trump has been against this Iran deal. He says, I want to clamp down harder on Iran. I want to have, put down more sanctions.
And right away, by the way, this is, Abby, this is the President of the United States obviously getting off the plane. Melania is still with him, and now he's supposed to walk down that street and be formally greeted by the president. I guess he's first going to hop in that car for that motorcade.
He is. It's going to be about a 10-minute motorcade. He'll be arriving shortly at the president's residence, and then the president will be greeted by President Rivlin as well in about 12 minutes, they suggest. This was all supposed to happen at 6 o'clock Eastern time, so right now it looks like they are about 55 minutes behind schedule. But Dory Gold, former ambassador in Israel, who's joining us live from Israel. Dory, the security precautions for this presidential visit are extraordinary, aren't they?
They are, and I have to take pride. Israel is the country that invented a lot of the security precautions for aircraft, for visiting dignitaries, and we've basically pulled out everything we've got to protect President Trump, along with and in coordination with the U.S. Secret Service. So we're doing what we can to make sure there's a peaceful and quiet visit, and we can focus on the business we have to do.
Dory, real quick, before I let you go, what is the relationship between Saudi Arabia and Israel right now?
Well, we don't have diplomatic relations, and we have been basically adversaries most of these years. Some of us have reached out to Saudi counterparts and created some relationship that is unofficial. Now would be the opportunity and the time to try and see how you can create relations between Israel and Arab states like Saudi Arabia to create an outer envelope for an eventual peace process with the Palestinians. That's what's exciting about what President Trump is doing now in the Middle East. It was never done before.
Yeah, if there was ever a time to do that, it is now. Former Israeli ambassador to the UN, Dory Gold, great to have you with us this morning. Really appreciate your insight.
My pleasure.
All right. We just saw the president's Cadillac has started to creep forward. The motorcade will commence very, very shortly. They're going to go over to the president's residence. You're going to see it all right here live on Fox News Channel. Put down that remote. We'll be back in 2 minutes.